This portion of Lee Pitts Live is brought to you by Hodges University, educating the leaders of our community for over 20 years.
Ladies, let's pick up your mugs and bump here. We'll let everybody know that everything in these cups is healthy. H2O is in these cups, no alcohol. How about that, ladies?
Good.
It's good? Speaking of no alcohol, for your overall health, doctor, is not drinking alcohol a good thing for your overall health?
For overall health, yes.
Okay. Now, is it any kind of anything related to alcohol and probably related to you might get cancer down the road, anything like that?
Alcohol is always good to be in moderation, but in terms of colon cancer, it's actually the colonoscopy truly helps prevent colon cancer.
Okay. Now let's talk about the organization that's the spearhead of driving this 21st century. Go ahead. And what do you guys do?
21st Century Care is a nonprofit organization that actually helps all kinds of cancer patients, not just colon cancer patients. So people who have to go through treatment, for example, and they don't have enough money for a ride or enough money for groceries because of how expensive cancer treatment would be, 21st Century Care helps with financially with these grocery cards or gas cards and stuff like that.
Do you find that the public in general knows about the opportunities that exist with 21st Century Care, or there still need to be more awareness to that?
They do need to be more aware. But in addition to that, what Vera has started is that 21st Century Care would also help pay for colonoscopies for people who cannot afford them, which is a life-saving tool because it prevents colon cancer.
All right, Sesame Street, that for us. What is a colonoscopy?
So colonoscopy is where somebody has to do the prep, and everybody's heard about the clean out. That's really the worst thing. And after that, they go to the hospital or a surgery center. They are very comfortable. They're asleep. We look at your entire colon. If we see polyps, we take the polyps out right there and then. And polyps are things that can grow up to become cancer. So technically, if we take out the polyps, then you should not get cancer.
And you'd be happy to know that once I passed, I think 45 years old, I started getting my, every 5 years or something like that, to get a colonoscopy. So everything comes out good, negative, but they put me to sleep and it's not really sleep. Okay, Vera, this is the 5th annual Scope for Hope 5K run. I've seen pictures of you out there running and everything.
Yes.
You have an interesting story how you first got involved in this. Tell us how you first got involved in the whole run to raise awareness about cancer.
Okay, well, 2009, June, I went to the doctor to get my colonoscopy, and they found that I had a tumor on my colon. Well, I was shocked. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die, because you think about that, and then I was embarrassed that I had the colon cancer. So I went through surgery. I didn't have a surgeon, so I found Dr. Gar, who was my surgeon.
Mm.
And yes, a good surgeon.
Wow, you got it still together.
Yes. So I was supposed to, she told me all the procedure, what was going to happen. And I went into the hospital. She said, you're going to be in the hospital for about 7 days. Okay, just hurry and get it over with. That's all I wanted, So lucky I went in, everything went fine. I was only in the hospital 2.5 days, and I went home by being healthy and everything. So then I sat around and I was trying to think what I could do because I read up on colon cancer, and it is the second killer if you don't catch it in time, So one day, I said 2010, I volunteer at Gulf Coast Hospital, and Dr. Gar is there also doing surgery. And I saw her in the hall. I said, Dr. Gar, Dr. Gar. She said, what's wrong? She thought I was sick. I said, I need to talk with you. I said, I was lucky and I was blessed. And I said, I think that this is my purpose in life to do this. She says, what? I said, I want to have a 5K race for colon cancer to help people that need the money and don't have insurance and need help. She said, oh, that's good, that's good. I said, but I need your help, And she says, okay, good. So within the year 2011, we started the Scope for Hope. And I am really blessed because my mother died of colon cancer at 73. And it's very important that everyone get the colonoscopy. It's very important. So we're having this race, and we need the support of people to go in on 21stcenturycare.org, and they can donate. And then March is the month for colon cancer. So you will be able to go in the whole month, but we really want all the money at the race time.
Okay, and that's on March 14th, 8 a.m., and sponsorships are available. And that's going to be a CenturyLink Sports Complex at Hammond Stadium. Okay?
Yes.
Now, let's go to back over. Well, first of all, you meet a lot of people at Gulf Coast Hospital with your volunteering.
Yes.
Because that's how we met.
Yes.
And people always say, well, how do you know these different guests? I saw you in the hall. Blah, 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 blah. And then next thing you know, you're sitting on TV. Okay. Now, there are some specific demographics that really need to be aware about colon cancer. We want to really make sure we highlight that. Dr. Gard, go ahead and elaborate on the statistics.
So there are about 150,000 people who are diagnosed every year, and 50,000 of them die of colon and rectal cancer. Now, for the most part, we are doing a great job of letting people know about screening, but in the African American community, either they have not heard about this or they have less access to care. By the time they get diagnosed, it's almost too late. So the death rate amongst the African American community is higher. So even though the screening is recommended at 50 for the general public, there are groups of people who recommend 45 years old for people who are of African American descent.
That's excellent information to know. Now, the Scope for Hope race, the 5K, I'm not going to run it. I might walk it. People can walk it, right? Just show up.
We expect you to be there.
I'm working out my schedule now.
Okay.
Hopefully I'll be there with the cameras, everything. Okay.
We will love that.
No promises yet, but that's what we're working on. Okay, now, the what has been the response from the community in terms of how they've enjoyed the event, the 5K, the Scope for Hope race? What has been the feedback you got?
Well, everyone thinks it's a great thing for having this race, because so far, for the past 5 years, we have helped over 185 people. And out of the 185 people, there were several people that we find that have, they was able to have colon cancer, you know. But really our goal is if we can only help just one person, we feel like we did the job.
Excellent. Now, Dr. Gard, is colon cancer curable or preventable? Speak to that.
Colon cancer is preventable. It's probably the only thing that we have that is preventable because, like I said, with the colonoscopy, if you find a polyp, you take it out, then you should never have colon cancer. I mean, it's a good test, not a perfect test, so there's still people who get colon cancer even though they've had colonoscopies. But the other thing is that if, let's say, they have their first colonoscopy and they find cancer, and if they find it early, then it is very curable. You know, some people say, you know, I don't want to get a colonoscopy because if I have cancer, I don't want to find out. And that should not be the right attitude. The attitude should be, let me get it early so that I can be cured of it.
Now, we got your contact information and all that on the screen, but you mentioned if you find it early, what are some symptoms?
You know, for the most part, the early cancers don't have symptoms, which is why we push for the screening. But by the time people have symptoms such as bleeding, abdominal pain, they have a change in their bowel habits or weight loss, then by that time it could be too late. I mean, we can still help them, but the chances of cure become less as the stage is higher.
Okay. Well, ladies, it's been great to have you both on the show. And keep up the good work, okay?
Thank you.
Thank
okay.
you.